He spent 2 years on the shelf and he's come back, and within 10 days, he's a contender. We've got him here.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event.
Live from HBF Stadium Festival Hall, Melbourne Pavilion. Not even backstage, we're literally outside.
Was that the best fight card in Australian MMA history?
Call me crazy, but make sure you call me when I'm right.
Be good if the Aussie MMA Instagram page would give us a bit of glow up, because...
Welcome to the Australian MMA podcast. My name is Mitch Tilley, and today's guest is Sarmad Jahanara. He recently kind of burst back onto the scene with a nice victory over Mad Max Kelly, who was so in form. He was doing so well at Beatdown Promotions 10. Sarmad Jahanara has spent 2 years out of the cage, injured. I think he's now 4-1 after that victory over Max Kelly. Previously, he had a fight of the year back in 2022 against Deatta, and maybe 23, I'm not sure. And look, it was, go back and watch it. It's Eternal MMA, maybe 73. These are the things I should know. But look, him and Deatta is like one of the most devastating strikers. People are talking about Deatta getting a welterweight championship fight, and Sarmad edged him out in the split decision, and just he is really one of the most underrated fighters on the scene, obviously due to inactivity, but that is no longer, because burst back onto the scene, took out a guy who was on an absolute roll in Max Kelly, and did it like convincingly. So world's his oyster, back from injury. Who knows what's next for Sarmad, but we have him on the show as he fought, March 14th, so it's 3-4 days ago in Brisbane. We talk about who he was matched up with, some future fights with some former champions. We talk about his injuries that he went through, some of the personal issues leading up to his fight. Just a great guy. He really is. Love having him on the show. So let's hear from our friends at Vex. And on the other side, Sarmad Jahanara.
PRP Global and Vex have joined forces, so keep an eye out. Launching mid-November, they've got a new Vex website and new MMA fightwear range releasing shortly. Vex, designed for combat and worn by the best in Australia.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on the show, fresh off of a victory, Sarmad Jahanara. Mate, welcome.
Thank you, mate. Good to be here.
How was
the
that?
The infamous Australian MMA podcast. First time, long time listener, big time fan.
You've been great. I thought you were just one of those guys that kind of fought once and was now a coach. I didn't know that you were still going to be a very good active competitor.
Honestly, I thought you were one of those guys who was just around at Eternal, whatever I fought on, and then we never see you again. But here we both are.
Jeez, look at us. Look at us. Mate, look, post-fight of Mad Max Kelly at Beatdown Promotions 10, that's 2 fights now. I thought you were going to lose, but you won.
Yeah, I know. It's
wild.
I don't know how these people keep losing to me. I'm really shit. First of all, I definitely beat Deatta. I know what you're thinking. No, like I honestly felt like the underdog coming in. I know there was like a bit of hype around, that people were saying, obviously, I was probably a different level striker than Max had faced before, but I did feel like the underdog because Max was coming off a 3-win streak. He had a 12-week camp or something like that. And I'd come in off 10 days, hadn't fought in 2 years, and at a new weight class. So
why? Yeah. Why did you, because you've had some pretty bad injuries and battling back and all that sort of stuff. Mad Max Kelly is, he's very in form as well. He's not just good. He's like, being constant fights, consistent fight camps, kind of. He's really sort of building a bit of a run in his career. You hadn't fought in sort of 2 years. Why was Simon like, 10 days notice, here you go?
I think like I was confident that's a fight that I could have won. Um, but how do I explain this? Look, I lost 2 years to injuries, lost 2 years to COVID. I'm going on 30 this year. I'm sort of like approaching my peak, and I'm struggling. I was struggling to find a fight, albeit logistically, maybe people don't want the smoke, logistically or whatever. And in my head, I just want to get as many fights as I can. So this was a chance to take. You know what I mean? Stylistically, I mean, I did think I could beat Max. But it was just the preparation. So, it was a matter of, can I do it without the most ideal preparation? And, I took a chance and it paid off. Not something I want to build a habit on doing.
Was it even a fight camp? Because, like, surely when you're 2 years out, you're not like, they're going to call me soon. They're going to call me. Like, you would have had no idea this was coming.
Nah, not. To be honest, I had accepted that I probably won't be fighting until the next round of fights, which would probably be like, what, May?
Yeah, something along those lines, yeah.
I was originally in talks of fighting Eternal March 15, the one that was on after Beatdown. I had an opponent, verbally agreed. My opponent signed with someone else. So that was sort of the last straw. I was like, fuck it, I'm not fighting. So, I just eased my mind. I was actually at Hex, enjoying a couple of drinks with Sammy before that fight got scheduled. So no, there wasn't really a camp. Mind you, I've been training, like even when there's no camp, I'm still training. It's just the intensity and the intent, right?
Yeah.
And that wasn't there.
Who verbally agreed?
You know what? I'm gonna fucking say it. Declan Wolfinden.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was, and then we didn't hear back from him, and then the Conor Downey fight got put up. Now, I'm not gonna talk any shit because sometimes these things happen and the fighter doesn't even hear about it. You know what I mean? It's just the management and the team, and then the fighter's like, "Oh, I didn't even know I was meant to fight you." So, yeah, that's what had happened. I got massively blue balled, and then that fight came in.
Is that a fight? Because as soon as you said that, that sounds like a super fun fight. Did you see his fight with Downey?
Yeah, I did.
Thoughts?
Unimpressed, as GSP said. I'm unimpressed. I thought he actually won that because he took Downey down, and then he was sort of like giving it to him on the feet. But I can also see how they gave it to Downey because even though Downey was fighting on the back foot, he was sort of picking him off a little bit. Like I was very surprised. There were strikes that shouldn't have been landing on him that were landing. And it's like there wasn't much intent from Declan to hurt Conor.
Yeah.
It was a bit surprising. I definitely thought it was going to be a 1 round, one and done. You know what I mean?
He did seem a little off. I personally think Wolfinden just edged him out a little bit. I think Downey looked good, and I'm glad that he got. He kind of gets zero respect for his striking. Everyone acts like he's Ryan Hall, like he's just gonna dive on your legs.
I'll be completely honest. I thought he was Ryan Hall. He did do some Ryan Hall shit. He was on Declan's back and just fucking rolled into a crab ride. You know what I mean? Like, but his striking didn't look too bad.
Yeah.
And that's the nature of the game. It's evolving, and you can be a grappler and still have great striking.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's not like.
Yeah, even in that sense, it's like, well, do you want to take on when you look at a fight like that? Does Downey or Wolfinden do you want any of those matchups?
I would have liked Wolfinden if he came off the win, but now I feel like whether it was him or his team sort of blew me off, and then coming off the back of a loss. So the timing's not right. If he gets a few more wins, I would, but I think what am I'm at 4-1 now. I definitely think maybe now it's time to start pushing the challenges a little bit.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
I did a little reaction last night before I talked
Mhm.
to you, and then I had some fights pop up that I thought. So hear me out.
Mhm.
He's on a bit more of a run now, right? Now we're even talking about him getting a title shot. It was a split decision. You had some time off. He's had a bit of a run. You and Deatta too. Thoughts?
Honestly, I've thought about that. This is this is how this is how petty I am, right? Khan gets a title shot. I think Khan can win the title for sure. Khan gets the title, then I call him out and say, "Hey, I'm the last bloke to beat you. Let's do this."
Oh, so you don't want to stop the hype train. You want it to keep going, and then
I
you
want
do
to keep
some. Yeah, yeah. No, that's
100%.
smart.
You know what? I respect Khan. I don't think he's a hype train that's going to be derailed. I think he's good.
Mm.
Um, I just think that we're. I'm just going to go ahead and say we're the two best strikers in Eternal right now, right? Like
Mm.
if it's for the title, mate, the first one was a cracker. The second one, I'm no doubt sure it's going to be a cracker.
Yeah. No, that's was it fight of the year?
Fight of the year.
It's pretty good. And robbery of the year?
I don't know which fight that was.
All right. Well, if Khan doesn't happen? Here's my left field one. This is just one I was thinking of the
Mhm.
other night. And I don't know what he's doing either, but he has been up there. He's fought a teammate of yours before, but his recent
I know
title
who you're
fight
gonna say.
was very quick, and it was he's got more in the tank, and he's come back from injuries. So I feel like it's all about negotiations, right? You're on a bit of a rise. He's got a bigger name, but he's sort of like had a not as great performance. What about you versus Kaleb Ridoeut?
Yes. Yeah. Also one on the radar for sure. Um, that's actually one I wanted. The plan was get someone like Max and then see what Caleb's doing.
Mm.
Yeah, I'd love a fight like that for sure.
Yeah, it's just a weird spot like you're in because you're not yeah you can be a different 4-1. You know what I mean? You could have like fought sort of not the like anyone's fought nobody's type thing, but like you've got this like little and I hate to say it, but what the kids say, a little bit of aura about you. Like you've got a little
How old are you, Mitch?
32. How dare you? Doing a
Um,
podcast in my garage. How dare you?
Hold on, I think I hear your mum calling.
She's actually probably just calling you after that great performance on the weekend.
uh,
Nah, it's look, it's weird because you went from, and I feel like you won't even be offended me saying this. You went from like irrelevancy to now like a contender, all in
yeah,
10 days.
yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. And you know what? To be honest, I kept my mouth shut
Yeah,
while I'm injured. Like I'm not one of those guys who's just rattling cages, making noise, on the hopes that one day, I stay relevant and one day I come back and people have me in mind. I I just worked on myself. I bided my time, and I had complete confidence that when I came back, this is the type of situation I'd find myself in. Because I, I, I know I'm an exciting fighter. I know I'm a good fighter. People enjoy watching what I do. It's because like I'm not going out there points fighting. I'm trying to kill people. Um, and yeah, I think it's fair that I wouldn't say I'm a massive contender yet. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. Like that
Mm.
was Max Kelly is good. Had a hype on him. I think that was sort of me showing like, hey, I'm here. I think someone like Kaleb Ridoeut would be like, okay, now this guy is like a serious threat. If I get through Kaleb, um, and then we can start, yeah, talking about what happens down the line. But
So good because this is everything I said last night. And if everyone's like, he's an idiot, I'll be like, he said it himself. Because I do. I think you're like one away from being like one away. Do you know what I mean? Like it's almost like everyone goes, okay, say you do take a Wolfinden away and you put him out, then it's like, okay, now you've solidified yourself as like you could really, really be it. Where it would feel very weird if you got a title shot off of this one. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like I don't like it happening too soon with guys.
And the thing is, I mean, I'll take a fucking fast track. But at the same time, I don't want to take a fast track. I'm at the point where it's like, okay, if I am good enough, I'll beat these guys. And if I'm not, then I'm not. You know what I mean? There's no point trying to hide from it, get the fast track, and then maybe by some means I get the fast track, get a call up, and then I go and get pumped in the UFC. I do want to test myself on the local scene. You know, I don't want to stay testing myself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like one or two like hard fights, and then if I am the real deal, then go on to see what greater things come.
Well, I mean, how sort of important was it that as soon as you walked out, I think it was the first strike you threw against Max was just like a hard body kick. Like, so you threw it like you weren't like feeling it out. You were kind of just like, okay, let's turn the violence on now. Was that important to you, or was that just how you fight? You don't know how to fight any other way?
I always make a point of getting first blood. Like that sets the pace, I find. Even if we are going to feel each other out a little bit round one, I'm just letting you know that is what I'm going to be throwing when I'm throwing. I think it was important in the Max fight because I sort of see Max a little bit like myself. Like even going into that same sort of mentality, I knew if I didn't do it to him first, he would do it to me. And he did. We touched gloves and he threw a kick at my head straight away. I'm like, oh,
no, that's cool. Was it weird being in his backyard? Like he's beloved in that city, that whatever you want to call it, hall. Like it goes off when Max Kelly walks out. Did you know that you were hated?
I knew 100% I was hated, and I thought to myself, I'm like, why do I keep getting myself in this situation? Pretty sure I walked out in HBF Stadium and there was like 400 people cheering for Khan and booing me.
Yeah, same. With my microphone.
He's injured. Get him.
No, it's cool, man. It was a cool sort of moment too, because like I don't think everyone is aware, and I'm probably not even fully sort of across how much you kind of did have to go through. Was there a bit of you that thought, hey, I might not actually make it back to MMA?
Yeah, there was for a bit. Look, I didn't tell you last time when you were asking me, because I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? But you know, Mitch, I've grown to know you and love you, so said no one ever.
Sure.
No, it was a lot to go through. It all started actually with the Khan thing. Like I was so the injuries I was talking about, I was in a car accident a week before the fight.
What?
Busted a week before the fight. I think I just started cut week. Some chick like sort of T-bone head on me. Hooked my shoulder a little bit. I was in a shark tank like literally the next day. It was fight week. There's no time to slow down.
They're at the hospital. The doctors had to clear her out, but it was good. Yeah, you got to get them rounds in.
So I'm in a shark tank, cracking the pads, and I felt my shoulder go, and I'm like, I'm just gonna see how this goes. It didn't really give me any grief in the fight because of the adrenaline and everything, but then after the fight, it was pretty hammered. So I struggled with that shoulder for like 8 months. Finally started coming good, was in the talks of fighting again. Then I busted my knee. That took about 6 months before I could even train again. Then I thought that was good. And then I busted my other knee, had surgery. And then around the same time, I had a whole bunch of personal stuff happen. Like, my my dog passed, my father passed. And then there was just that massive like mental game of what am I doing? What's going on? How am I going to get back on track with everything? And yeah, in that time, 100%, there was parts where I'm like, is my body ever going to be the same? Like, am I just going to have to stick to coaching now? And you know what? I love coaching, and I was happy, but I was like, I want to do everything in my power to get myself to a fight, and then if it doesn't work out that way, I can accept it. But when I started getting everything right, even working on my mental, I just felt like my body was actually holding out, and it was, to be honest, like as strong as ever, if not stronger.
And in terms of your father, did he support MMA? Like, is the family behind you with that journey?
I think without MMA, they all understand that I would definitely not be in the position I am in life now. So for that fact, they love that I do MMA and they supported it. And yeah, Dad used to always watch my fights, and he was more on the side of I'd rather you not going out and getting absolutely blasted in the head by other people. but no, he would always get around the fights when they would happen, and go there and debrief afterwards. And yeah.
Were you bit of an angry kid, eh?
Yeah, angry kid, troublemaker. Yeah, before fighting, there was fighting. You know what I mean? It was probably more frequent than my last 2 years. But
more active.
Way more active. But yeah, I definitely calmed down. It's definitely a tool to channel my energy in.
That's cool. So are you back on track now? Just like this is the career now. This is really what you want to do, because obviously you had a few speed bumps heading in, but I can only imagine that UFC is the goal, just like everyone and all that sort of stuff. But you're back on the career journey.
100% back on. I spoke to Simon like earlier in the year, and I was like, look, I want to have like 3 or 4 back to back. If my body stays good after the fights, I just keep the ball rolling. I'm going to take a smart approach, obviously, let the body heal, plan maybe around May or June, go again, and try and do it a little strategically. But yeah, UFC is the goal. I'm on the career path for this, and I'll do it as long as it's viable for me.
And how does it feel? I mean, there's a man behind you in the picture, Mr. Declan Wolfinden, obviously very, very close with your team. You guys train together. You work hard together. You hang out together. How does it feel when you win, he's in your corner, and then the very next day you have to sort of console him about a loss?
Honestly, he's a selfish prick, and I hate him for that. Nah, honestly, I was over the moon. I had a really good feeling that this was going to be like another Perth rerun where I get the shit beat out of me, and then Dill secures the first round finish. It was honestly heartbreaking that night. I didn't really give a fuck about my win, because I know how much Dill's worked for it, and it's annoying because I know how much better than that Dills is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. He probably can't say it, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think 9 out of 10 times he fucking beats Templar. Like, and I truly mean that 100%. I think the whirlwind of things that went on sort of led to maybe a mistake or two, and Dills didn't perform like how he should have. So yeah, it was a bit gutting, and even now my heart burns for him. But I know Dills is a very stubborn guy. I was going to say something else. he's very stubborn, and I know he'll be back there straight away. And the next time you see him, I think everyone will just be reminded that what Dills does.
And he'll probably be taking it out on you.
And he'll be taking it out on me, and I'm probably going to try and hide for his camp.
Without a doubt. Now, mate, before I let you go, because I know you got to run, ask everyone this, and you got the opportunity now. After it's all said and done, how does Sarmad Jahanara want to be remembered in mixed martial arts?
I just want to be remembered as a dog, man. Fighters fight, and in this day and age where people cherry pick and choose their fights, and I'm a fucking fighter, entertaining to watch, and I want people to remember me as someone that they look forward to see on posters.
Awesome, mate. Well, I mean, I can attest you are a very exciting fighter inside the cage. Not so much outside, but inside the cage, very, very, very exciting. And I appreciate your time. It was very, very bizarre that you just randomly went from, and I mean it, like I was like, oh, he's just coaching and he's kind of done. And then it was all of like, oh, he's a contender again. I was like, this is crazy. Now I'm gonna start talking about him. So
You're like, fuck.
yeah, I'm sure you're stoked with it because I'm bloody stoked with it.
Yeah, honestly, and for me, it's like a rocket ship. I was just sort of bumming around doing my thing, and then within 10 days, boom, I'm launched back into the scene. So.
It's wild, and I look forward to bringing you onto the shit stirring journey. So
Thank you. I'll be preparing myself for it over the next however long.
Yeah, that's crazy that you think Wolfinden's a bitch and won't fight you. What?
What? I thought that's what you were saying before the thing.
No, I would never.
Nah,
He
you know what?
He scares me.
He doesn't scare me. Bitch, no, I'm kidding.
Flipping that.
Fuck.
Flipping that.
My man.
All right, mate. I'll chat to you later, and I will see you next time I see you.
Done. Lots of love, Mitch.
Peace out, brother.